just instantaneous removal from the game, and they've got nobody to blame but themselves, sitting broadside to everybody on the team. Now, that being said, Ghazi's got to be careful as he reaches out and touches that man in the Massachusetts for Citadel and punches him in the mouth. And just like that, I mean, we went from having a whole first 5 minutes to just dominating 146,000 damage. And there are plenty of people to shoot at as Massachusetts starts to go battle in. Now, we're obviously being shot at by the Georgia behind us, who took offense to us shooting at the beginning. And you can see Ghazi's recognizing the guy's not long for this world. Can he help finish the guy off? It looks like he's going to take the shot. He aims up. He's got one shot with a rear turn of justice. Is it going to be enough? All he has to do is hit that superstructure, and that man is dead. And he nails it, getting his high caliber and getting his second game. And he's at 148,000 damage. Massachusetts makes it full broadside in front of Georgia at point-blank range. I don't care how good your turning is, it ain't good enough, sunshine. You're about to go back to court, and I don't care who you are. Wait for it. You love calling your shots, don't you? You absolutely love it. Georgia does not care who is shooting. If they're broadside like that, you're going to have a real bad time, especially on their battleships. These 18-inch guns have a fantastic penetration, and they're relatively accurate. They're not necessarily always real good, but they're usually pretty solid. And if you're dumb enough to go broadside in front of it, I don't care if he's shooting at somebody else or not. If you go broadside in front of an 18-inch gun, or any battleship for that matter, you deserve what you get. You deserve to be sent back to court very quickly. But you'll notice that things have not gone well for Ghazi's team. He's down by one ship. Both teams still have a destroyer, but he's the only battleship left for his team, and there are cruisers left on his team. Meaning his teammates kind of got obliterated, and that's unfortunate. Now, Ghazi got very fortunate being broadside to Bismarck, and I guess if there's ever a battleship that you don't mind being broadside to, it's probably Bismarck. But you don't want to play with that RNG, because with all of the penetration angle bumps and the dispersion bumps that Bismarck has received over the past 3 years, it's not as bad as it used to be, and it will reach out and touch you.
Really?
And you don't want to do that. You don't want to fight with Bismarck, especially in a situation like this. You've done really well in this late game. You have a very real opportunity to cap a base and give your team a chance to go up 2 bases to 1 and guarantee the win if your destroyer can run away. Now, there's only 6.5 minutes left, so things are about to get busy. Now, this Bismarck.
Fire alarm. Our team has taken the lead. Neither impossible nor impossible.
I had to explain it to the slower of us out there, okay? Some people need jokes
Our
explained
victory is in
that don't
sight.
quite understand.
Let's finish this fight once and for all.
We got a joke. Anyway, we got the taco out here that's a very real danger to our destroyer. Fortunately, our destroyer doesn't seem to be pushing his luck. He's trying to spot, but also trying to stay back. Now, Bismarck is a very good threat, but Bismarck is not coming around the corner, which is perfect because this allows Ghazi to capture this base. And like I said, that puts our team at the advantage of a 2-to-1 in our favor. Okay, 2 bases to 1. That's huge. That means we're going to be gaining points over the enemy. That means even if Ghazi dies to the destroyer, within the next 2 minutes, his team can still win just by his destroyer living, which is huge. So do not underestimate this base cap right here. It could be the key. Now, Ghazi recognizes that he's still spotted. There's only one thing that couldn't be spotted, not being spotted. The cruiser is still over at the smoke capturing the base, and they just captured it. And the destroyer is obviously spotting him. Now we know that the destroyer is a Shimakaze, right? I'm fairly confident. Maybe the Shima died, I don't know. But I'm fairly confident it's a Shimakaze, so you cannot afford to take any torpedoes from that man. So he goes bowing in towards the received torpedo threat to get ready for the inevitable, and there's 5. Wait for it. I'm sure there will be a few more coming this direction.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Any moment. Now, the good news is, or the bad news for Ghazi is, he didn't spam all of his torpedoes at once. He's actually paying attention and trying to catch Ghazi. There's the second set of torpedoes, which means that this is most likely the Shimakaze from earlier that we had spotted. So that is the second. We can expect a third, and since they are getting closer, and he is now turned in and guaranteed to be at least in a position to attack with the torpedoes without being able to maneuver out of the way, I could assume that the last set is going to be absolutely devastating if he cannot get his ship moving. And that's when the Bismarck comes around the corner. Now, he was ready for it. He gets a good shot at the Bismarck. The Otago makes himself available. Now, this is where Ghazi understands prioritizing targets. He can't shoot the destroyer because he can't see the destroyer. However, he can help his destroyer by taking out the one ship that is almost a kill. Oh, never mind. Shimakaze, oh! Wait for it. Oh, no! No, not like this, Ghazi. Not like this. We can't have this. You cannot do this to us, Ghazi. This is a great game, and we get the close quarters on the Shiba, but did he get his last set of torpedoes away? Remember, he only launched 2 sets at us, so you can almost guarantee there's at least one more set headed in your direction. And that's if he hasn't already reloaded the others, and he completely loves the torpedoes.
I don't have to tell you what's
No idea
ahead of
who
us.
was launching those
They
torpedoes
have
at,
to be
but
stopped,
clearly,
and we're the only ones who can do it.
now Bismarck is charging it, and this is where Ghazi needs to be thinking. Again, prioritize targets. Bismarck is not that big of a threat. He's bouncing for his threat. So in my mind, here's what I'm going for. I'm going for the kill of the Otago to help secure that. And then I'm also going for the ram on the Bismarck. That is my play that I would go in this situation. And as you can see, the Otago just took a torpedo from the Clavera. Absolutely huge swing here. Is Ghazi going to get his guns loaded before these two meet in the middle? It looks like he is. Is he going to get a double strike to finish the game? He takes the shot at the Otago as the Bismarck. Oh, scrapes it, and down they go. Get it to the rocket. Is the shot going to be beautiful? Yes, it is, but no! He gets robbed. He gets a shot. He gets one overbid, and the Otago lives. But that was a fantastic game from Ghazi. And once again, guys, if you have not seen his channel, I will leave a link in the description down below. As the Clavera wins a gunfight with the Otago to finish this game. What a crazy ending. What a crazy match. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one as much as I did. A ridiculous game in a beautiful ship. 230,000 damage, 5 kills, Kraken Unleashed, high cow, death strikes, veteran, and a close quarters to go with it for good measures. So if you like what we're doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Everybody, and welcome back to the Warships. My name is Spartan Elite 43, and tonight we've got something a little different. It is a community replay sent in by KP.
Our team has taken the
So
lead.
hopefully you guys
Neither
enjoy. He's
invisible
in the
nor
revive
impossible.
American destroyer, the Monahan. He's running Howard Gleaves with Eric Bay, Jersey Swirsky. Here's his loadout for all you guys that are interested. And he's also going to show us his equipment loadout as well. I'll let you guys check that out. But before we get into the actual gameplay, I need to warn you guys that this is not your average gameplay, okay? He sent it to me, but it didn't have any audio. And rather than have an entire video of just my voice talking, I decided to do something a little different. I decided to do some editing. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of what I plan to do. If anybody ever sends me a video that I feel is worthy to be shown on the channel as a community replay, but they actually forget to have audio involved, or for whatever reason it doesn't have audio involved. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If nothing else, it should be quite interesting. So, that being said, let's get into it. We're going to be on Estuary, and we are in the Monahan, and I promise you guys, this is going to be a ridiculous game. So right off the bat, we are spawning in the beach on. It is a domination game, but there are 4 domination circles that we need to grab a hold of. We start with Bravo, they start with Charlie. That means A and D are the points of contention. So, KPZ here is going to head off towards the Delta Cap right off the bat. With that being said, there's only a single destroyer on either team, which is Act 5, pretty awesome for fighting all 3 match. But it also means that you can make battle starts to locate and remove the enemy destroyer early, then your team has a ridiculous advantage in this match. But do not take this as a match is going to go really well for Monahan here, KP. He's going to be working his backside off compared to this team doing better. Now, I don't want to spoil it like that, but I'm telling you, you won't believe what he has to do to keep this team in this game. So he's going to push out to the left side. He's got Delta Cap on his mind, you know, Delta, beautiful, you know, Delta Dawn, Manager knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, we're going to push over to Delta. We're going to try to get into the cap early, because generally speaking, destroyers tend to go for caps early in the game. And if you can catch it, so what is this? There's a strange smoke screen on the horizon. Surely there wouldn't be a destroyer parked in said smoke screen just inside the cap, making himself painfully obvious of where he's located inside the cap. That wouldn't be the thing, right, guys? Surely not. So let's just see what old KPC has in mind here. Now, first of all, you got to know the range of your torpedoes, and you can clearly see that his range extends to the edge of the cap, which means he's got enough range to hit that smoke screen. You can see that on the minimap when he launched his torpedoes. That's the beauty of having Albert Gleaves. I believe he does increase the range of your torpedoes, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. Wasn't really paying attention, I'll be honest. But maybe it's not him. Maybe it was Space Fishing that I'm thinking of, in which case these are just the normal torpedoes. But I digress. It doesn't matter, because he definitely has enough range to cover the cap. And while this enemy destroyer is capturing the base, I feel like it's a look. CK.com Harbor Engineer to start today. Echoes K crater awaits. Long for this world, as those demon fish are about to make their presence known. He jumps into the cap, that contests the cap, so the enemy didn't really get any points out of it, maybe 1 tick more than points. Immediately, the enemy catches the enemy Mayhem in the smoke and kills him right off the bat. And now that leaves your team with a huge advantage of having a destroyer when the enemy team has none. And this is a domination game mode. Now, KB recognizes this and manages to, now that he's removed the threat from the cap, he can sit at the cap and cap it. So that's going to give a point for not only stopping the enemy destroyer, but also flipping the cap. So he's going to sit here. He's got 25 seconds, and lo and behold, an enemy Laga is pushing in way too close for comfort, which is not what you want. He's thinking about launching torpedoes here, but he smartly holds his fire. Laga is not going to sit out here in the open water, so he starts unloading his guns on him. And you'll see, gun's not very effective against a French cruiser in close range like this, bow one. Now once he turned broadside, he got a little bit more damage, but you got torpedoes, and he's coming around an island, and even though he should know better, he's going to sail in a straight line. Now, unfortunately, our buddy here, KP, has to leave the cap circle, which is really, really unfortunate. But he does manage to take out a sucker enemy, so he's going to double back immediately and get back into the cap to help get that cap. But anyway, he's going to jump in here. Now, he did just use his smoke screen to shoot at the Laga. And you might say that's a bit of a waste, but is it really? There's a carrier on the enemy team. He knows you're over here to capture the base, and you can kind of sit in your smoke for a little bit to help capture the space. So it's really not that big a deal. And you can potentially, never mind, you don't have the range to shoot that Cali, but he's not going to send this one. He's beeline and he's shooting that Cali. And potentially the characters out there in that neighborhood. Because if you remember right, the character spawns right around that area with that Cali. So, yeah, we're going to push over there, see if we can get some torpedoes out to this California, and see what happens after that. We have made it consider a second cap, we've got the lead in terms of caps, but the enemy has the lead in terms of points because the enemy has absolutely wiped out Prince team. It is now a 4 versus 7, which is not what you would call preference. But, again, KP is not going to be denied. He is going to absolutely put this team on his back and fury. Quite literally.
Torpedoes deployed.
So, yeah, he is going to push out on this Cali. Again, Cali known for his torpedo reduction, but he is taking a beating
Taking the lead.
by KP's teammates because he's just doing it abroad like this. It's not what you do in California, alright? You gotta know what you're doing. You're slow. Can't run away from trouble, and it's sitting broadside everybody does it well. I don't care how big you are. But you can see KP lining him up for a torpedo strike, waits until he clears the island so that he doesn't waste his torpedo.
Our victory is in sight.
And as soon as he believes he has the shot, you can see he's starting to slow down and turn in. So he launches both sets of torpedoes basically stacked on top of one another. There's a little bit of a gap between them just due to the fact that when you switch from one launcher to the other, it's going to be offset a little bit automatically. But California doesn't really have a whole lot in the way of help. So if any of these torpedoes hit, that's wrecked. And his team is still shooting at the Cali, so there is that. But again, it's a 4 versus 7, and our team really needs to do something. Now you can see our carrier is actually under duress right now. I don't know if he's spotted yet, but he's going to be shortly because there's a cruiser and a battleship pushing out on our carrier, and our carrier is just sitting there waiting for them. Again, map awareness for carriers is essential. I suck at carriers, even I know that. But we start unloading the guns at them. I don't know why, because these torpedoes look pretty solid. Maybe I thought he was going to miss, but he catches it with the torpedo and finishes on the Cali. However, he now has spotted the enemy Ranger. And this is what you dream of in the destroyer, man. When you get close enough to a carrier and they're not even moving, this is absolutely Dream Street. And this carrier realizes a little too late that he's in trouble because he starts moving, but unfortunately, all he's going to do is add his broadside to the Monahan. And American Armor Piercing will do its job. Now, you can see he's shooting HE initially, and he's getting some damage because he's shooting at an angled target. While carriers don't have a lot of armor, they still have enough armor to deal with, you know, the 8 of a small caliber gunboat. And so you can see Monahan here, our KP, he's about to turn in, get the torpedoes off, because obviously, want to get these torpedoes off. He drops at least, I think he dropped both sets there. But he gets the side of the Ranger, and he starts to shoot with HE, and then I believe at this point he's going to switch over to the armor piercing and start citadeling this Ranger. He's also going to catch him with a lot of torpedoes and take most of the health of the Ranger in the process. But you can see he is stacking up the citadel hits with the armor piercing. And down we getting a very nice salvage again to finish him off. Now, carriers down, that's huge because that is one thing that will absolutely ruin your day as a destroyer, is if he keeps spotting. And now, just for the heck of it, KP decides, you know what? Screw that carrier in particular, and he's going to put a couple of shots in him just to double tap and make sure he doesn't get back up. Because reason. And he shoots down the carrier's fighter planes in the process. Now the carrier still has some bombs out there, but rather than go for the guy that just hurt and killed him, he's going for the battleship. Because of reasons. But yeah, KP here is going to head back. And now it looks like KP is about to make a huge error and go all the way over to the Alpha cabin. I think it's Alpha. On the left side of the map. And this would be a mistake because of the time it takes to get there. He would be completely out of play and not be able to help his team. But he doesn't. He actually makes the right choice and decides, okay, I need to go into the Charlie cap, help my team capture this base, and potentially stop the enemies from coming through the gap in the middle into the Delta cap. And that is 100% the right choice to make. And the enemy does exactly what he thought that they were going to do. Now, maybe I'm giving KP a little too much credit here. Maybe this isn't exactly what he was thinking at the moment. But whatever the choice may be, whatever reasons he may have for making this decision right here, which he doesn't actually help capture the Charlie base, but he wants to get over here to help his team. He's got 2 teammates left who needs to support them. So he's going to do that. And the Dallas shows his hand by coming straight through the middle, murders the AOBA, and then it is a 2v4. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel the most confident in these sort of situations. You got 4 ships versus 2 ships. Now, your battleship is pretty healthy, so you at least got that to look forward to. That means that Dallas is very unlikely to push forward. Because the Dallas will straight up be removed by that battleship at these sort of ranges. Like, the Dallas is not going to avoid the shell. So the Dallas has no choice but to stay away from the battleship. The battleship is a very nice outlook to Mexico as he's coming around the corner. So, battleship doing everything in his power, it definitely deserves a commendation.
He's taking the lead.
This man is doing work. He's done work with the Cali, he's done work the entire game to help this team survive. It's not just been KP, but it's been mostly KP and that battleship right there. But KP dropped some torpedoes into the gap. He's measured up the Dallas initially, but again, it's one of those where you can launch the torpedoes, you got enough range that you know that if you miss the target you're aiming at, there's a good chance you're going to hit something. There's enough stuff there. But Dallas goes broadside. He's got the armor piercing still loaded, and you can see the armor piercing has no trouble absolutely ruining the day of that little light cruiser. But it doesn't matter, guys. The torpedo. Wow! And down he goes. Now, New Mexico is still there. We launch at the New Mexico, and the New Mexico doesn't actually matter again. Remember, you may have made those torpedoes at the Dallas, but the New Mexico's right there behind him, and the New Mexico takes 2 torpedoes and hits the flood, and it's a perma flood, and down we go. We suck in it, and with that, KP has now secured a 2 versus 2, and right now you got to be feeling pretty good. You've got the enemy right where you want them. Your points are very close. They're not running away from you. You stop the bleeding. The enemy pocket is moving around the outside to try to flank the battleship or potentially try to capture the Delta cap. So what does KP do? Rather than take a fight that ends up with the pocket, he decides to push in straight across to the Bravo cap and see if he can flank this battleship, take the battleship out and potentially capture the base. If he can do either of those, he can secure the win, because at that point, all you would have to do is run away. There's not enough time left for the Hawkins to get another base and flip the points back. But he does find the Tennessee just sleeping over here. Tennessee's secondary start. He starts to launch the first set of torpedoes behind, and he's going to start unloading the guns. Not trying to set on his laurels. Again, you're trying to win the match here. You know that if you kill this Tennessee, you win the match, essentially. You don't have a lot of time to do it. The torpedoes are en route. You've got another set of torpedoes getting ready to be loaded. And at that point, you have to send this guy. And again, the battleship did everything he had to do, took a good chunk off of him, and KP is going to get fired here on the Tennessee, who immediately extinguishes it, which is, you know, I understand, but at the same time, not a great idea. And the battleship finishes off. So again, battleship coming in real clutch here. Now that flips the point. That means we are guaranteed to win at this point. He cannot capture a base fast enough. KP could capture this base, but at this point it's kind of pointless. It's not going to help any other than giving you extra XP. And so what does KP do? He decides, all right, I'm going to set a course for this Hawkins. Hawkins has decided he no longer wants to play the battleship, as this battleship has proven time and time again that he is willing to punch you right in the mouth, and does so again. Friendly Tennessee getting his confederate. KP takes a couple of pot shots over the island, completely blind, hoping to hit. Doesn't actually manage to land a hit on the first shot. Second shot looks just as awful in terms of RNG. And so now he's thinking, okay, well, Hawkins is coming back. There's a good chance that he's just going to come flying around this corner. So I'm going to set an ambush for him. And I'm not going to lie. I wasn't 100% sure if these torpedoes were going to be as good as they seem to be. But, again, you miss all of the shots you don't take, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So you put those torpedoes out there, you give yourself a chance, and you already see the Hawkins took a beating. Now, the Hawkins is not going to kill you as fast as you can kill him if you get up close and personal with armor piercing. So even if you don't hit him with a torpedo, there's a good chance you can Citadel him to death faster than he can kill you. That's the beauty of American destroyers, especially at low tiers against cruisers. And sure enough, he's got the broadside of the Hawkins here, and the Hawkins does, in fact, a torpedo and go down. Beautifully done by KP. Thank you for sending this replay in. I apologize to everybody for the fact that it didn't have sound. I hope you guys enjoyed it regardless, and hopefully you got a little chuckle out of my sound effects. But KP did a heck of a job. 102,000 damage, track and unleashed, killed 7 out of the 9 enemy ships, got a first blood, depth strike, high caliber, absolutely schooled the enemy team. So if you like what we're doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Cost effect. Everybody, and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43, and tonight we have a replay sent in by a guy who goes by the name of Chase My Taillights, you may have heard of him. If you haven't, he also has a YouTube channel that is exactly what his gamer tag is, which is WintonFL. I'm assuming he's a Florida boy. But either way, he's got a fantastic replay that he sent in, and none other than in Tennessee. And yeah, one of the things you'll probably notice right off the bat is we're not top tier. One of the things I've always tried to stress on my channel is that people need to stop giving up with their bottom tier. Okay, you're going to get bottom tier. It's going to happen. But you would be surprised what you can get away with as a bottom tier ship. And this is going to be a perfect example as we have all of these beautiful ships sailing around broadside on, completely unaware of the pain that's to reach out and touch them. And sure enough, first shot, not a great shot, or not an amazing hit. 9,000 damage, then a rear gun hits for another 4,000 damage. It's got 13,000 damage for the first solo on a tier 6 battleship, which is broadside, which is also known as being obliterated. If one gets down low, that's set off going back and forth. But notice, there's also a destroyer there, there's a cruiser there, broadside. There's lots of targets that are just completely ignoring Chase My Taillights for what's in this case. So, second shot, we're already up to 21,000 damage. Now, obviously, shots are starting to come in. People are starting to take notice. But he turns in enough, gets himself out of too much trouble. And this with Johnny, I'm sorry, I don't know what your thought process was here, Sunshine, but you were wrong. For it, this can only hit one way. Come on, baby. Come on. Yep, that's fun. Oh, no. They yoinked it. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Dead ahead.
Broadside on in a Russian cruiser, and you're just gonna stop in front of a battle.
Torpedoes,
What
dead
do you
ahead.
think was gonna happen? Or spoke thought he was safe. He clearly wasn't safe. He was still spotted. You gotta know these things. Now, Still is now angled away slightly. Let's see if we get a better result this time. He's got 3 penetration. He's already up to 50,000 damage. And you can see the sit-off has lost that particular. Apparently sailing broadside on in a sit-off is a bad idea. He's fortunate to have lived this long. He's got everybody shooting at him. We're not even worried about the destroyer at the moment. We've got a tier 6 battleship that's just sailing around, just minding his own business. No threat to anybody whatsoever. So, of course, Winston here takes a job. He's got a beautiful look, Sinoff finally decides to turn in, but it's a little too late, and he has lost all position. And then Russo comes around the corner. Now, here's the bad thing. If his teammates don't finish off that Sinoff, Wins in here could have a bad time. He has to go after the Senator, the Russo. And Russo is just, what is this? Where are these people every time I play that? And that's going to be it. Yeah, oh, I can't believe it went just enough. Is this not just me? Like, apparently it's not just me, folks. But a New Orleans, that's part of they don't come out broadside on in front of everybody, one at a time. It's like they're daring everybody to delete this. Now, New Orleans thinks, okay, we probably shouldn't stay broadside for much longer. I gotta turn away. And then he immediately starts turning back, and Cynthia takes another shot at that sit-up. You can see the sit-up has recovered some of his hit points. And we gotta be careful, because we're a Tier 5 battleship. That's a heavy cruiser shooting AG at us. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot. Not to mention the sit-up, but sit-up can't even hit us, so we'll take it. Now, obviously, with all of this, he's paying attention to the man. He realizes the left side is in this throw. He knows that his left side is vulnerable. So he's going to go over and try to help him. And now we've got a broadside California just absolutely begging for it. And he reaches out and smashes him, and he's already got a high caliber. We're not even 5 minutes into the match, and he's got a high caliber. That's for real. What is up with these people? You think they would learn? Now, that being said, he does go broadside on in front of a California, which you got to be very careful doing. That thing has 50 caliber main guns, 14-inch 50 caliber guns, and he's got a lot of them. And you see, health starting to deteriorate rapidly. Vincent is going to have to get himself back together. Now, he's at 134,000 damage. So he does everything with this team so far, and the team has steamrolled because of these. And he getting into another fight with the California here, just exchanging blows. Neither of these ships really have the advantage in a straight-up gunfight. The advantage goes to the guy who's not sitting broadside. In this case, it's the California. But Winston aims up high, actually knocks out one of his guns temporarily. And not sure if that's what he was going for. He was just trying to hit the superstructure and eventually get some damage on him that way. But you can see the friendlies are actually hitting him with torpedoes. And that forces the California to turn. And you got to be careful here.